Okay, and we live. Welcome to Mastermind Mondays. I want to see here. Hopefully, this live is working. So I tried to post it to my page today, and it wouldn't allow me to post it to my page. So I'm going to see if it allows me to post it straight from the group, and if it allows it to go live like it's supposed to. Uh, let's see here. But yeah, it's so beautiful to be alive. And today we're going to be talking about politics. You know, I'm not a real political person, but you know, politics play a major role in our society today. And I definitely want to come on here and talk to you guys as we sit a day before the most important election of our time. What's the word, King Stepper? Okay, we live, we active. That's what I need to see. That's what I need to see. So yeah, you know, right now it's the most important time of our nation. We having the most important election to ever come up right now, coming tomorrow. We have presidential election for the next 4 years, and we have two candidates, and Donald Trump, the Republican candidate, and Kamala Harris, the Democratic candidate. And yeah, I want to come on here and just talk with you guys about this election coming up. Just politic a little bit about what we have going on and what we're going to be facing and dealing with here, because I've done my research. You know, I'm always a stickler on telling everybody to do their research. I do it as well. I do my research as well. So I've come up with some things. But I want to kick it off and start off by saying welcome everyone to the Mastermind Mondays. You here with Flyboss and in the Flyboss 1A private Facebook group. And I would like to give thanks to the Most High for choosing us and giving us the opportunity to make a difference in our lives and other lives around us. You know, I also want to thank you guys for coming in, stopping by, checking it out. You know, just dropping in and showing some love. You know, whether you stay for the duration of it, or you come back and during the live, or you come back later and check it out on the replay. Either way, I'm appreciative of you coming in and rocking with the Flyboss. You know, and the Flyboss 180 community. You know, this mastermind that I have here every Monday is strictly for you and I, you know, so that we connect, we can group, we can network, you know, we can put our minds together and we can come up with something great, you know. So I want to say I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have you guys here. You know, you guys are the reason why. You're a big part of the reason why I do this group. You know, is to help you guys to share my knowledge, you know, to get some knowledge from you guys, for us to connect and bounce things off of each other, and just go ahead and, you know, come together. You know, strength comes in numbers. So I'm grateful to have you guys here today. And as I mentioned before, this is the most important time for our nation, you know, because presidential election is very important to our economic well-being, to the growth of our nation and society, and the structure of, you know, our economics. You know, so I want to definitely chime in on this, you know, because it's very important that we get out and vote. You know, I know I'm telling you that I know, and we know that, you know, when it comes to the presidential election, it's not really up to us. It's up to the electoral colleagues, which we choose. We choose the electoral colleagues as well as, you know, influence the presidential election. Now, we do have influence on it, but we don't necessarily have a say-so in it, you know, because the electoral colleagues can choose which way they want to go. But don't let that stop you from letting your voice be heard, because your voice is very important. You know, you are important. Your voice is important, and you should be heard. You need to be heard. So the only way to be heard is to get out and vote. You know, don't complain about the way things are in your community or in society if you're not willing to get out and make a difference and do something about it. You know, it's your requirement to get out and express your free will your freedom, your free thoughts. And if you want to stay free, it's best for you to go out and vote for those elections, those elects that's available for us, those candidates for our local jurisdictions, because those are the electoral colleagues that represent us in our states that chooses the president. So if the presidency don't go the way that we like it to go this year, that's no fault but our own, because we didn't put the right people in position in our state representatives, in our state jurisdiction, state elections, to represent us the way that we want to be represented. So that's no fault of our own, and let's not continue to make that same mistake. Let's go out and make a difference. The same way we gathered up at the polls and we went to vote for the first black president, we need to do the same this year and vote for this next president coming in, because I promise you, these last 4 years has been a tough 4 years, not for me, not for you, but for everybody, for the whole world, for a nation as a whole. This has been a tough 4 years to overcome. So I really want you guys to really get out and let your voice be heard, let your voice ring, and get out and represent, and be sure that you select a candidate that represents your beliefs, your values. Do your research on these candidates and make sure that they're in alignment with your beliefs and your values. Because our values and beliefs are in jeopardy right now. They're at risk. The things that we used to know and the way things used to be is of the past now. We have a new way of life coming in now, and we have to adjust and be sure that we are part of this new way of life and we're not being left behind. Especially us as a minority community, we are very influential in the way the economics go, the way the growth goes of our nation, the way that things flow in our nation, because we have the highest and strongest spending power. While we may not be the richest, we are the biggest consumers of goods. We're the biggest consumers, and we need to actually utilize that power that we have. We need to utilize that voice that we have, because without our consumer buying power, there's no system, there's no structure. So it's up to us to go ahead and step in and utilize that power that we have, and be sure that we are being heard, and be sure that we are being treated fairly, and being sure that our black dollars are being spent the way that we would like them to be spent. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to get out and vote. Go vote, because it's very important and very influential that you go out and vote. I can't stress that enough. Like I said, I know we don't have a lot of say-so in the presidential election, but we have all the say-so in our local jurisdiction election. We have all the say-so in our state representatives, in our Senate. We have all election in our judges, in our Supreme Court representatives and stuff like that. We have to get out and make sure our voice is heard during those times, because during those times is what affects us on our day-to-day. So we need to step out and go make sure our voices is heard. But at the same time, we need to know what we're dealing with. I know it may not be fun for you to go out and vote for the lesser of the two evils, for lack of better words. I know you may not want to go out and vote for lesser of two evils, but we have to at least let our voice be heard and let us speak out about what we believe in. Because for one, we know that the previous president that was in presidency before now, he did a very good job with our economic structure of our country and getting us through those pandemic times, those plandemic times. He did a good job with making sure that we were able to survive during those times. Where on the opposite end of the spectrum, we take a look at the situation we're in now, and things are going in a downward trajectory, and they've been continuing to go downward in a downward trajectory. We have to make our voices heard and step outside of our comfort zone and speak up about that, because right now a lot of our things, a lot of our freedoms and everything are being threatened. So we need to step up and speak out. For example, we sit here and we listen to these presidential candidates. While we sit here and listen to the previous presidential candidate. I mean, the previous presidential president. We listen to him as he run again. He's still saying the same things he's always said. Let's make America great again. And I must say, America was much greater under his jurisdiction. And one thing I can say about him as well, he aligns with my values and my beliefs. I come from a Christian background. I'm more spiritual now than I've ever been. But at the same time, his beliefs and values align with mine. And so I can appreciate someone that has similar like values as mine. I don't expect him to be exactly like me, but I can appreciate that the fact that we believe in the same things. I also can appreciate him being a truthful person. For the most part, he tells the truth because everything he's ever said that he was going to do, he done it. So I can respect the person that's going to tell me the truth and shame the devil. Well, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the presidential candidate that we have, vice president, that's representing the Democratic Party this year. That candidate has continued to gaslight, continue to lie, continue to switch their stories, continue not to show me any policies or anything that I can connect with, and I don't want to have to go up under a jurisdiction of somebody that I have no understanding of what they're doing. Because you're the main figurehead for this country that I live in, this country that I love. So with that being said, why would I elect or vote for someone that isn't even truthful? Start there. Because I've sat there and watched the few times that she does step onto the podium and speak. I've seen her and do interviews and stuff like that. I've seen her go back on her words, tell us one promise, and then make these false promises that I know she's not going to keep because she's not even capable of keeping. I've seen all of these things. I really don't appreciate someone to piss on me and tell me it's raining. That's that's just like that's a slap in the face. That's a sticky situation, and that I don't want to be in. I know it's a great time to have a female running for presidency, one that's got a melanated skin, because I'm not going to call her black or African American. I beg to differ. But she does have a melanated skin. She does have some melanin in her skin, so she got a darker skin tone. But in all actuality, she don't mess with our kind. If we go back and look at some of the things that she's done, as a DA and as a law enforcement figurehead, she has never messed with our kind. We were never her friend. She was never befriending us. She was throwing us in jail for petty crimes and different things like that. While on the other end of the spectrum, she would help out those of her liking. She would help them. She would put them, get them heads up that the police coming for you. You better get out of here. They coming for you. But she would never do that for our people. But in the same voice, she tell us, oh, we're going to give the blacks reparation when I become president. Bullshit. You're not. Because if that's the case, you've been working on it now. Why we don't have a stimulus package right now? Why are you not helping us right now while inflation is at the all-time high? You're in a position where you can do whatever it is you want to do. You're already in position. We don't have to wait till you get selected as president for you to start working. You can work right now. And that's one of the things that previous president would say. And he brought that up on several occasions. You saying that you telling Al Sharpton that you're going to give the black people reparation, but I do recall on an interview prior to that where you said, I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. I'm not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything specifically for black people, but you're doing everything for the migrants and for these wars across country. You sending hundreds of billions of dollars over there. You got the borders wide open and letting people come over into our country and take away our black jobs, so to speak. But you're not going to do anything specific for the black people. But when Al Sharpton asks you about it, you say, oh, He's going to, yes, I will give reparations to the black people. Stop lying. You don't even mess with us. You never did. Even when you were DA, you didn't mess with us. You were locking us up left and right. But while you seeing the cartel lords and the drug lords, you giving them heads up that they coming for you. You better get out of here. Get out of here. You know, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about her because at the end of the day, you know, the presidential election is not an election. It's a selection. It's already been selected. And in all actuality, I don't know who's going to win. One thing I can tell you, I don't care who wins. We're going to win. Flyboss 180 community going to win. We're going to win because we're going to come together and we're going to take advantage of the time that we live in. And we're going to make the most of every opportunity that we have available to us. And we're going to come together as a community because the value lies in community. The value lies in each other, not that paper. That piece of paper is nothing but just a note. A promissory note. A promise to pay. You know when we take those pieces of paper out and all of that, all we're doing is making a promise that that we have this money available, that we'll be sure to have equal value exchange for this. But the real value lies in the people. The real value lies in us as a community. You know, we have to come together. But at the end of the day, you know, we're going to go over a little history that I've learned about this presidential vice president elect that's running for presidency that we got here. You know, there's a few people involved with her, and you guys can go do your own research. But I want to throw some names out there. I want to throw out there Jeff Adachi. I want to throw out there Shamala Harris. That's her mother. I want to throw out there Central Intelligence Agency. All of those have some things in common. You know, and I'm going to give you a little basic background on a little bit. Jeff Adachi was her mentor. You know, he's the one that really set her up to be able to get into law, practice law. You know, because he was the mentor, he was the one that really helped her get up to speed. Because like Trump said, she's not very bright. She wasn't very bright then. But her mentor that got a hold of her, you know, which is, he's I think he's of Japanese heritage. Don't quote me on that. Do your research. But he is the one that really got her up to speed and educated her and helped her pass the bar exam and helped her get selected for DA and stuff like that. You know, and as he was working with her, she became DA and he was a public defender. You know, and while he was a public defender, he was one of the best in the game. He was getting people, helping people restore their lives, you know, helping them not go to the penal institution, but at the same time helping them be able to rehabilitate their lives and get a second chance and third chance at the mistake that they may have made. He was very successful, and he was so good that he was able to get, like I said, presidential candidate select. He was able to get her up to speed and help her pass the bar exam, help her get selected to DA. Then mysteriously, he came up unalive. Yes, he came up unalive, you know, and it's crazy that he came up unalive, but she continues to work. And then they come with all these different variety of stories. And see, that's how you know when there's some bull jive in the game, because there's a variety of stories and none of them make sense. There's always drug overdose. There's always something of that nature. That's how you know it's part of some kind of sacrificial ritual or something of that nature. But at the same time, he helped her get where she is today, and he's no longer here with us, so they say. Her mother, Shamala, her mother Shamala was part of the Central Intelligence Agency back in the day when they was working on MK Ultra. From back in the days. And MK, if you know anything about that, that's like a mind control thing. Something that they do to a lot of the celebrities and stuff like that. They put them under MK. But this is something that they've been doing way back since the 60s and 50s. This ain't just came around. They've been doing this. But they did this to have mind control and to really possess and control people. So her mother was already connected with this whole system, this whole structure, well before she became who she is today. You see what I'm saying? She's also part of the Freemasons. And if you know anything about them in our country, they're a very powerful, influential society. They are a big structure in the judicial system and the executive system, very powerful in the politics and political parties. They have a lot of influence on what goes on in our day to day, in our courtrooms, in our lives, in our laws that's being developed and everything. They're required to help out each other. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm not going to go any more deeper in that because it starts getting into murky waters, and I don't want anyone to, keep shadow banning my stuff. This is why they don't want me to talk, because I talk about the real stuff that they don't want you to hear about. But at the same time, I'm not here for this. I'm here for a short time and a good time, and I'm here to share the knowledge and share the research that I found. But with that being said, and with that background, that just shows me that she's going to have a lot of favor. That explains why when I speak on her name on social media, and I don't speak on it in a light where I'm campaigning for her, they get to shutting my social medias down. They get to shadow banning my social media and stop me from being able to speak out. If I mention anything about the previous president and bring him into the mix or campaign for him or anything, they shut me down completely. TikTok did it to me. I was getting on there talking for him and campaigning for him, and immediately they shut my live down. I was not able to talk any longer. And I was like, wow, is it like that? Why am I being muted? Why am I not being able to speak? We have freedom of speech. So that's why I say our values are being threatened. So if you're doing that for her, that lets me know that if she becomes president, that all of my values are going to be threatened. So why should I go select or elect or vote for her or any of the other parties that's connected with her? You know what I'm saying? But as we know, by her being what she is, she's going to have favor. So they're probably going to fight the previous president tooth and nails to keep him from becoming president. Because, see, he's not part of the bloodline. Unlike all of the other presidents that's been president, he's not one of them. He's not part of their bloodline. He's his own self-made individual. Now, don't get it misunderstood. He is connected. And he is part of these societies as well, but he play a different part. Like his father had a connection with the cartels before, he became who he is. And that's what helped him catapult his career and become financially successful, is because his daddy's relationship with those other entities. You see what I'm saying? And that's a story for another day. But at the end of the day, he still stand on his principles. He still has always been that same individual that he was when he came into his position of power, of having money, of being wealthy. He's always messed with us. That's the difference between him and a presidential select vice president. She don't mess with us for real. She's just lying because they know that we have a lot of influence on our economic structure and our nation's buying power. Where on the other hand, he messed with us. He's rocked with us. He's done more for us than any other president in the history of presidential election has done. He's freed more. He's given more and more money. You know, even when he was in position during that COVID time, he the one that passed those stimulus packages out, not no one else. They tried to veto it. I mean, they tried to reject it and send it back. He kept pushing it through until it became reality. That's what I want, somebody that's going to fight for me and my country. I don't want someone that's not strong enough to handle the oppressions of this world, because there's a lot of oppression going on in this world. There's a shift going on right now. We're shifting away. We're shifting into a cashless society, which means dollars are going to be very minute. They're going to be very small and not very influential. So we need somebody that understands economics and that can help us go through this shift. We don't need that anymore. You know, we need someone that's going to stand up and speak and stand strong in what they believe in. And right now, I don't feel that from her. Secondly, I don't think that a woman is the right selection for presidency right now, being where we are economically, going into this shift and everything, because women are emotional beings. Nothing against the woman, not that she can't handle it, but women are emotional beings. And emotions will make you overpower intellect. And you need to use intellect and strategy to be able to fight these battles, these spiritual warfares, and be able to overcome these oppressions that we're dealing with as a nation. So I would not ask the woman to step in there and to be able to handle that, because that's too much to ask of her. That's not her job. Her job is to stand by our side, to support us and take care of the home. You know, to be our support system, to be our helpmeet. That's what they were created for. Not what they become in this day and age, but what they were created for. They were created to be our helpmeet. Help us meet the obligations of the upkeep of our empires. But we're not building empires no more. We have to get back to that. And we need to still have our freedoms that we have to create empires, because this is a free enterprise. But once they get in and try to strip us away from our freedoms, we will no longer have that free enterprise. And we need to let our voices be heard. We need to appreciate those freedoms that we have and make sure that we bring them in and initiate those freedoms. You know, because right now they don't care about us or our country. They're letting any and everybody into our country. You know, they're being able to come in and get the benefits that we, as a quote-unquote minority, you know, which we're really the majority, but as a minority, we don't even get those benefits. We don't have stimulus package. You know what? Yeah, we do. The Democrats make sure that we stay on welfare. They make sure that we keep our houses divided. They make sure that we have, they give our women welfare benefits like food stamps and subsidized housing and Section 8 and stuff like that. But then they turn around and tell us, oh, you can't have a man there. Your man can't live there with you. You have to live alone. You need to get them out of here. If you don't, we're going to lock you up. We're going to take away all your benefits. We're going to take your kids. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. They put all these threats on the woman as they quote unquote call themselves helping them. What I've learned about the Democratic Party, they've been our oppressors the whole time. There's always been an agenda to their madness. They're the ones that implemented and brought in these extremist entities and groups like the KKKs. They're the ones that brought in and continue to try to keep slavery, keep us enslaved in the mind by making promises that they're not willing to keep. Just giving us a something to give us a pacifier, you know, to keep us quiet and keep us happy. That's why they brought in President-elect Obama. You know, he's part of the bloodline as well. You know, that's George Bush's cousin. You know, you may not have knew that, but yeah, he's in the bloodline. You know, but they gave us him to pacify us, because during that time, after dealing with Bush, this country was really getting ready to go up in an uproar. We was about to have a civil war right here in our country. But at the same time, President Obama came in. He calmed us all down. He was well-spoken, mild-mannered. You know, he was a great representation for the black community. But he didn't necessarily do a lot for the black community. He didn't do what I expected him to do for the black community. Don't get me wrong, he did his thing while he was in there because he stayed alive. And that's hard to do because the way that our country is built, they keep us against each other. They keep us divided. They keep us going, doing this racial thing when race has been out the picture. Race has never been an issue. When you really realize it's all about the powers that be, the 1% that runs this thing, that structures this whole thing, and everything else. And that's really what it boils down to. So if we got an opportunity to have a presidential elect to care about our country, to care about our situation and our well-being, we should go with that party. We know under his jurisdiction that we were winning. You know what I mean? We sat here and we got a chance to sit here and watch us go through the shutdown and businesses going out of businesses and everything of the pandemic, but then we turn around and still continue to be successful. And we still was able to thrive. We still weren't dealing with these high tax inflations. He put things in place. Me as a tax professional, as a tax advisor, I can tell you, when he got out of office, they took away all the benefits that he put into the tax code. They reverted us back to the 90s. When he brought us up to speed to the 24s and 25s to match the inflation and what things that we had coming on going on, they took all of that away. All of that money and child tax credits and everything that was put into place, that he put in place, that gave more money, that made people see $15,000, $20,000 returns for a regular business owner, small business owner, or people with children. We're not seeing that no more. You know why? Because the parties that's in office right now, they took all that away. They undid everything this man did. And we wonder why we suffering right now. We suffering for a reason. Because they want us to suffer when we don't have to. And that's why I created this group. That's why I created this community. Because I want to put the value back where it belongs. Back in our hands. I got a lot of things coming up that I'm working on. I want you guys to stay locked in on the group because I'm getting ready to roll out some new products and new things that's going to be really beneficial to the group and those members of the group. I want you guys to continue to invite people into the group and bring them in because as we continue to grow this thing and as I continue to bring more resources into the group, it's only going to be beneficial. It's going to help us through this time that we have coming up, these next 4 years. Realize that whatever it is that you want to build and want to do, right now is the time. Over this next 4 years is your time. You really have a 3-year window to get it all done, implemented, and get yourself set up and structured and secure. Because after that, who knows? Things are going to change. Artificial intelligence is going to be at an all-time high. They're going to take away more black jobs. They're going to take away more opportunities. They're going to take away a lot of the things that we do and we take for granted these days. They're going to be obsolete now because artificial intelligence is coming into play and they're automating everything, because they want things to be more automatic. They don't want people to have free choice and free will. They want people to be robots. They want to take over you and turn you into artificial intelligence. They want to do all of these things to control us. They're damaging our food right now to put the nanobots in our bodies. Everything that I talk about in these lives, I don't go too deep into them because they're very sensitive topics, and I know that it'll cause a conflict amongst my pages. I'm trying to get my pages back up, and that's why I mainly focus on this group. But at the end of the day, go do your research. When you watch these lives and you listen to some of the things I'm talking about, jot down some notes. Take some notes on some of the stuff that I mentioned in these lives and in these groups and go do a little bit of research. And it'll get you a little bit closer to your own understanding. Because, see, my understanding is my understanding, but you have your own understanding. My vision is my vision, but you have your own vision. If we bring them together, we're able to create something great. But I need you to lock in with me. I need you to do your research as well. Like I say, I'm getting ready to bring some courses into the group. These courses will be specifically on topics that are important and influential to what we have going on today. The important things like taxes. The important things like credit, investing, retirement, real estate, health, wellness, e-commerce, digital products. All these things that are very important for us to be successful in these upcoming days. These things will be brought to the group. These courses and classes will be brought to the group. These masterminds will get deeper and deeper and stronger. So I want you guys to lock in with me and be sure that you come and check out what's going on in this group. Share the group with your friends and family. Let them know that it's something great being built over here. And it's free. This group is free. I'm not charging anyone for this group. I'm giving my knowledge, sharing it with you, sharing my experiences, doing my research, and giving it all back. I'm leaving my blueprint behind. I would like you to also go out and get my book. It's on Amazon. How to Buy Your Dream Home When Your Credit Score is a Nightmare. The Ultimate Guide by Flyboss. All you have to do is go put in Flyboss into the search bar on Amazon store. FLIEBOS. And when you put it in, it'll bring you to my podcast and it'll bring you to my book. Go grab the book. It's going to help you financially. It's going to help your mind. It's going to help your mindset. It's going to get you ready for the things that's coming ahead. It's going to show you the number one wealth building strategy that we have, which is real estate. It's going to get you prepared. It's going to help you structure your credit and everything to reflect how you want it to reflect. To show you as a CEO of your credit. To show you as a CEO of your life that you got it all under control. You got operations in place and you know how to orchestrate in your space with finances, with your resources, with your accounts and trade lines that you have. You have all of that in place. So I want you to go ahead and go support me. Go grab the book. I got more books coming. I got more courses coming. I got more things coming. Lock in with me. Be encouraged, not discouraged. Go out and vote. It's important that your voices be heard. Don't complain about what's not happening if you don't go out and vote. Don't complain on what you don't have if you're not letting your voice be heard. But I love y'all. I want y'all to be encouraged. I want y'all to keep coming back. And I want y'all to be the best version of yourself. Flyish only. Love you.